Today I'm going to talk about LeetCode question number 23, merge k sorted lists. We're given an array of k linked lists. Each linked list is sorted in ascending order. Merge all the linked lists into one sorted linked list and return it. So for example, we have this list here, and this is the output, okay, in sorted order. So what might we think to do this? So for example, if we have 5 linked lists, like 1, 2, so these are our linked lists, 5. So what we might think to do is combine the first 2. Okay, great. So then these become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we combine the next 2 here. So this becomes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, and then we combine the next 2, and so on. Okay, so this becomes 5 linked lists, and then this becomes 4, and then 3 linked lists, etc. We could do that. The runtime complexity of this would be O of, so we have k linked lists, k times n, where n is the number of nodes in the linked list. Okay, we could do that, but there is a better way. So see how we're decrementing the linked list by 1 each time. So why can't we do something like, so if we have this linked list here, combine it, doing some kind of divide and conquer approach. So we combine these 2 and these 2, and since this doesn't have a linked list here, we just combine it with none, basically. And these 2. So then now the linked list becomes 2, 3, 4, and then just 5. Okay. And again, we take 2 at a time and combine them. So these 2, and that becomes none. 1, 2. And then that becomes 5, and then finally combine these 2. Okay, so then this becomes 5 linked lists, and this turns into 3, and then it turns into 2, and then once you turn into 1. So essentially, we're kind of having the linked lists here. We're having them. So if we had like 6 here instead, if we had 6 of the linked lists instead of 5, if the size of k was 6 instead of 5, we basically have like 6 and then 3 and then, yeah. So essentially what we're doing is having the problem. We're doing some kind of a divide and conquer on it, okay? So then the runtime complexity with this would be O of n, still n, because number of nodes, because we still have to look at all the nodes, times log k. And log k because we're essentially dividing k by half each step. Okay, so this is the approach that we're going to take here. So now to code it up, so what I'm going to do is first handle a couple of edge cases. Let's say if the length of list is equal to 0, then we want to return none. If the length of list equal to 1, then return the first element in lists. Okay, so now what we want to do is while length of list greater than 1, okay, while all the lists aren't combined yet into one list, what we're going to do now is create a merge list. Alright, So this is the new array that we're going to store all our merged lists into, and then we're going to iterate over lists 2 at a time. Is less than 1 the list. Okay, so list 1 is going to be equal to list I, and list 2 is going to equal none for now. If I plus 1 is in the range of lists, then we're going to have L2 equal to list at index I plus 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is combine list equal to merge L1 and L2. I'll implement this merge helper function after. And after we combine them, what we want to do now is append that to merged list. Okay, and finally increment I. And we're skipping over 2 at a time because we're combining 2 lists at a time. So like these 2 and then the next 2. Okay. And what we're going to do now is update list to be now merged list. Now merged list is essentially half of list, and we're going to assign list to the merged list. So now list size becomes essentially half. Okay, so now I'm going to do this merge function here. And finally we're going to return list at 0. Okay. So now we're going to do a merge function. I'll do this quickly because I've done this merging linked lists before, and I hope you have too. So while either of these lists are not none, what we're going to do is game.file is less than or equal to L2.file. We're going to add that element first to our new node. And new node equals new node. Okay, great. And what happens if the lists are actually of uneven length? And then we return new head here because new was iterating to the new list. Okay. So yeah, we try run it. If we don't have any bugs. Okay, let me use the rest of the example test cases here. Okay, and I'll submit. Okay, great. Thanks for watching.